welcome to Good Deeds Real Estate with a Mission. I'm Diane Davidson. This is Bill Whiteacre. We're back together. It's been
That's
a few
me.
weeks since we've been together here.
How
And
do?
How do? I do fine, and you?
Never better.
Okay. So Realtor.com has come out with their prediction for the hottest markets for 2024. And it's largely based on pockets of affordability. And what's so interesting to me, I think 5 out of the 10 are on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because that is a market that had softened. And so when people hear that something softened and prices have gone down and sellers have responded to the slower sales, what happens? Buyers are attracted to it. So New Hampshire, the Manchester, Greater Manchester area, Concord, Nashua, which was consistently in the top 10 for most of the last 24 months, has not shown up in the top 10. And it's not that it's not affordable, it's just that it really hasn't softened as much as some other areas. The demand is still very high here. And I know there are a few in Massachusetts. Anyway, I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
Why don't we do this David Letterman style? We'll do the top 10 starting with number 10.
I will get there. I just want to say this.
Okay.
We have to know that there may be these are predictions.
Correct.
So that when we look back at what actually takes place in closed sales in the first quarter next year, we may still find New Hampshire being on that top 10 list. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But sellers in the West Coast that have made those adjustments in prices, because they've had to, they're always the last to get it.
Of course.
They don't want to make that adjustment, but as we say in the industry, you may not need to sell your home, but you are competing with people that do. They're
Right.
getting job transfers, they lost a job. There's all kinds of reasons. So
Life happens.
number 10,
Number 10, drum roll. And number 10,
Los Angeles.
California.
We think of that, and that's obviously because home prices have taken a bit of a beating. Interest rates were up, and that contributed to it. Prices were up over the last handful of years, so they've come back down. So number 10 is going to be LA.
Well, can I say something too?
Please.
California and Texas, for a while, there's a bit of an exodus from both of those places.
Well,
So
they
there's
were
a glut.
exiting. They were exiting California to Texas.
Oh, did I have
Oh,
that
yeah.
wrong?
Yeah.
Okay, my mistake.
You just mixed it up. It's
Oh, okay.
they went from California
To Texas.
to Texas. And
Okay.
you know what? Even Austin, Texas, has had a regression in prices
yeah.
because
Yeah.
there was such a run up,
Right.
such a demand. So number 10, Los Angeles.
Okay.
Number 9, Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay.
Now, partly they're predicting that prices are going to go up 6% there next year, and partly your $390,000 is the median list price.
Mm-hmm.
And so you think of Grand Rapids, pretty big metro area, comparatively speaking, and in New Hampshire, our median sale price is close to 500,000.
Yep.
So 390,000. Number 8. Here we go. Worcester, Massachusetts.
Which is great news. Yeah, that whole Blackstone Valley area is hot. And it's great because it's so accessible to Boston. You know, it's really I know people are buying there especially people who don't have to go into the office every day,
Mhm.
find it pretty easy to live there.
And
Very easy and convenient.
Realtor.com is said exactly what you know. Did they interview you?
They may have, yeah.
Well, it's because honestly, you're not far to Boston, as you said, and there's people that can work from home. So, and the median list price there is $475. They're expecting a 9% increase in prices next year. Moving right along, Springfield, Massachusetts.
There you go.
Now, we don't need to say more on some of these other than median list price in Springfield is $350,000.
Mhm, yep.
Pockets of affordability.
Yes.
And so they're because of that predicting home prices to go up 10.5% next year in
We should
Springfield.
move.
To Springfield, we
I'm
could,
thinking for Grand Rapids.
or maybe to number 6, Bakersfield, California.
I've been there. Route 5.
And part of that is that it's a little bit of an agricultural feel compared to LA, and remote workers get more affordable houses. $385,000 median list price in California, and it's about 2 hours north of LA.
Mhm.
So that for those that are working remotely makes a lot of sense. Number 5, Riverside, California. So we are
It's all
seeing,
LA, it's also close to LA,
we are seeing California, especially
coming back.
LA and South, we get a little bit of a rebound. Moving to number 4, San Diego.
I know, I read that and I thought, that's a great place to invest.
Well, I remember years ago, Di, I was going to a conference in San Diego, and it was 1993 or 94, and a coworker of mine said, "Oh my goodness, I used to live there. You're gonna love it there, and except for the real estate prices, the average house in San Diego is $250,000." And I thought, how can anybody afford to live
Quarter
there?
of a million.
Now it's $995.
Wow.
The median list price is
Wow.
$995. They're expecting prices to increase 11% in San Diego next year. Moving to number 3, Rochester, New York.
Now, that's been many times in the last 2 years in the most affordable, top 10 for most affordable, or hottest markets, largely based on affordability. So that's interesting that's in this prediction too.
Yeah, partly because Kodak was in Rochester for decades and decades and sort of struggled there, but they were awarded $10 million last year to invest in revitalization projects downtown Rochester.
That's great.
And that, again, all you gotta look at, for those that can live just about anywhere, it's a great city, median list price, $239.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
there's no doubt that's why the contributing factor to it being number 3. Moving along, Oxnard, California, and that's the median list price there is $1,037,000. So it's not just low price properties
No, it's affordability based on relative to the area.
and demand,
Yeah.
and so those prices have adjusted, and as a result, they're predicting that will make number 2, and then with the ultimate drum roll for number 1,
Number 1,
Toledo,
not Spain.
Ohio.
Okay.
Yes, Toledo, and again, if you think, well, why would Toledo? Median list price $200,000. So again, people are looking in cases that drive hotness, metropolitan areas, access to services, things of that nature. So all of California, when you think about it, was pretty close to LA or San Diego, and some of these other cities are close to other large cities. So, median list price $200,000 in Toledo. There are going to be people that, if they can work anywhere, that are going to say,
Right.
we should maybe think about the middle of the country, and they're expecting. This is I think this is going to be number 1. Is they're expecting prices to surge 14% there next year.
So one of the things I'm hearing here is that if people are looking to invest, don't necessarily think locally. There are certainly reasonable investments around here, but a lot of shrewd investors will look for these pockets around the country, and we know agents everywhere, don't we?
We certainly do, and we can make good referrals to other parts of the country. But oftentimes, if you're able to follow what is driving growth, employment,
Right.
Large scale infrastructure investments into regions, all of those things are going to drive employment. And also, people are looking to be, as I said again, in smaller U.S. cities are again having a resurgence.
Well, look at Rochester, $10
Yep.
million for downtown, revitalization. I think that's great, and that's really attractive to people.
You take a look just in our neck of the woods,
Mhm.
right? Look at all the medium-sized cities in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, that have proximity to larger cities, the resurgence they've had in the last 20 years.
Absolutely.
So,
Yep.
there you have it.
Okay, well, thank you very much, David. Bill, thank you.
yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
All right, so thank you. Hope you found that interesting. And be sure to follow us on your favorite podcast platform or subscribe to our YouTube channel.